Chanakyaa International Academy உங்களுக்குள் இருக்கும் தலைவரை வெளிக்கொண்டு வரும் பியூர் பாலிடிக்ஸ் பயிற்சி பட்டறை நேரடி மற்றும் இணைய வழி. கான்டாக்ட் 7338824242.
Distinguished dignitaries on the dais, Professor Dr. K. Sundarmurthy, Dr. A.K. Ramasamy, Thiru Arulnidhi R. Kuttalam, Sadhu Janaki Raman, distinguished participants, professors, devotees, dear students, gracious ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow is a very, very important day. Is an important day in our history, because on this day the divine appeared on this land, whom we call or know as Swami Vallalar. Tomorrow he is his 202nd anniversary of avatar, and we are here to celebrate, to talk, to share his teachings, his life and work. I understand there are a number of students here, and it is a day-long seminar on which speakers will be talking about Swami Vallalar's teaching, the various aspects of it. There will be discussions, and I'm sure thereafter the process will go on, even beyond today's seminar. Friends, I would like to urge you to invest more time in understanding Swami Vallalar's teachings, of course, but also the circumstances, prevailing circumstances in which Swami had to appear. Because if we understand the backdrop, the context under which he appeared, we will be able to better understand what he taught us and what should be our mission in life. You know, in our country, Bharat, for thousands of years there has been a tradition. And even in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Sri Krishna has stated that whenever there is a crisis in the world, whenever there is sharp decline in values in the society, when the people ceases to be virtuous, and when there is a hatred, enmity, violence, all the wrong things around, it disturbs the very balance of creation. This is what is called rise of adharma. And then divine appears to correct it. Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Abhyudhanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamya. Whenever there is a decline of virtue, decline of dharma, means dharma is what? Dharma is respecting every being as what Swami Vallalar taught us. When we heard everyone, his famous Vakya, Vadiya Pari Kandapodelam Vadine. When a blade of grass withers, my heart pains. So that connect with the entire creation. If we realize it, then we respect each other. We live in harmony. We treat every human being as brothers and sisters. Also, every being, plants, animals, every being as part of our family. When we lose that sense, and lose that sense to an extent that we start just fighting with each other, destroying the environment, a crisis emerges. And that balance, and that's it. What is that? That is what is called rise of adharma. And then divine incarnates, appears in human form to correct the balance, restore the balance. In 1823, when Swami appeared on this land, you must study what was the prevailing situation. Why did Swami appear? Then you will be able to understand better the meaning of his message, what he taught us. That was a time when we were all enslaved by foreign power. They were playing havoc with our life. All kinds of exploitations had begun. They were dividing our society along all possible lines. And it was a miserable life. I would urge some of the young students and researchers, go to our archive, a state archive. You will find evidence of all those atrocities which the British were committing. I was shocked that 1839, 70,000 people of this place, it was Madras, 70,000, imagine, 1839, what was our population? The entire population of Bharat was hardly about 10 crore or so. 70,000 people signed a petition and gave to the British governor, Madras governor. And what was the petition about? The petition was a pleading to the governor against a discriminatory policy which the British had adopted in admission to school. They had closed all our native schools and they had set up English schools, and they had made it a condition that for admission in the school, a child has to be baptized. To some of you, it might look as shocking. We have forgotten. We have forgotten the kind of, imagine to what extent people must have suffered that 70,000 people at that point of time. They got together, signed a huge petition. Petition is only one page, where the appeal is made that, look, our forefathers for thousands of years have been following a tradition, a faith. Please don't force us or our children to change their faith. Allow them admission without change of faith. But the signature is voluminous. We got a copy from London archive because the signature copy petition is here, but signatures they have taken it in London. But we got a copy. Now, this is one example to tell you what was the situation at the time. Society was divided. You have a lot of social discrimination was prevailing. At that time, a society which had fallen sick through all kinds of atrocities from outside and distortions within, that divine had to appear to correct it. So I urge the students to study. I would like more research. I am not aware, at least I have not found, in any of our universities there is a Swami Vallalar chair. I am not aware. Correct me if any one of you know. We have too many chairs in our universities for doing research on political leaders. So many political leaders there are chairs in name of XYZ. But there is no study, there is no research, there is no chair on Swami Vallalar. At the time when he appeared, we can understand that he was in a very tough situation because the entire British administration was against him. They didn't like him because he was telling something, he was uniting the society. He was spreading the message of brotherhood. The society which was divided, and some of our brothers and sisters were treated as untouchables, he was bridging the gap, bringing them together. It was not a good thing for the British. They wanted the society to remain divided. We can understand that so long Bharat was enslaved. Bharat was a colony. Okay. We couldn't do much. But even during those times, Swami Vallalar established to spread the message. He established schools. In his schools, there was no discrimination. Everyone from every community, caste, creed, whatever it is, they all sat together and studied. And you know what he focused on? Because British had again started destroying our identity, our culture, our heritage. They had begun practically closing our schools, Tamil schools, and encouraging English. Swami Vallalar set up a number of schools for teaching Tamil and Sanskrit both. Swami was a great scholar of Sanskrit as well. So that our ancient wisdom, our ancient values are preserved. But after independence, unfortunately, we seem to have forgotten him. And I thank those committed people. Though he lives in our heart, yet in public space, we don't have much to celebrate Swami Vallalar. So I thank this Vallalar mission and all these people associated with Suddha Sanmarg to carry on his teaching, carry on his mission in his own limited manner, with limited resources. But what is needed is much higher, much escalated, much more. Unfortunately, in our state, this movement, which was what Swami Vallalar had started, was a socio-spiritual movement. A socio-spiritual movement to reform the society, to create, restore the balance, and create harmony. After independence, it was hijacked by politics. A politics, it never it never unites. Politics by nature is centered around power. Every politics is a nature. It has unfortunate part it is, but the fact is that politics is about power. And when it is about power, what is called a zero-sum game. That if I have it, if I have it, he will not have it. If you have it, I will not have it. That is zero-sum game. What Swami wanted is win-win game. Everyone has it. But that cannot be achieved by politics. Unfortunately, our politics here in our state, it hijacked the social movement which was started, socio-spiritual movement which was started by Swami Vallalar. Because Swami Vallalar talked that every being is divine. Even that blade of grass is divine. But in politics, there is very little room for divine. And in fact, here we have politics which doesn't accept divine at all. It calls it irrational, unscientific. So, Vallalar went into background. Look at our neighboring estate. I am telling because you are young students, I am trying to provoke you to research. In our neighboring state, Kerala, things were not better. Kerala was almost equal in discrimination, all kinds of problems that we faced. But Kerala, much later than Swami Vallalar's appearance, a social movement began when Sri Narayan Guru started the movement of social reform. Politics did not hijack it. It remained a socio-spiritual movement. Today, in Kerala, we don't hear any incident of social discrimination or any untouchability incident. Here in our state, we read the newspaper every day. Atrocities being committed. Because that socio-spiritual movement was hijacked by politics. And politics, for their own reason, will ensure that what feeds politics, what gets vote, it must continue. They are not sincerely interested in removing social discrimination. They may talk any amount of it, but they will not, because their interest lies in remaining this divide. Now, what is needed today is we need a socio-spiritual movement here. Movement to carry the message of Swami. We need for that movement intellectual energy, a spiritual energy. We need more number of students doing research, PhDs. I do not know how many PhDs we have on Swami Vallalar. We have hundreds of PhD, thousands of PhD. I was shocked. When I came as a chancellor of the universities and I wanted to know how many PhDs, what is the performance of our universities, I was surprised that since 2001 to 2020, we have more than 6,000 PhDs on 3 or 4 political personalities of this place. I would not like to name, you know it. PhDs after PhDs on these 3, 4 political persons. I did not come across a PhD on Swami Vallalar. There might have been some odd guy to which I am not aware, but certainly not in the limelight. We need to have many researchers who research on Swami's work. In fact, if you go towards northern side, on a spiritual, socio-spiritual leaders, you find numbers of PhDs. There are thousands of PhDs on Swami Goswami Tulsidas. Thousands of PhDs. Who was a great social reformer. So he led a socio-spiritual movement. But here, politics became so overwhelming that it was all pushed in the background. So what we need is, we need to take it forward. Let it not just be a one-day seminar today. Let us try and find ways how in our institutions, if not in government institutions, let us start in private autonomous institutions. Studies, researches on Swami Vallalar, his teachings. Because today the world is facing problems. What are the main problems that we have? Problems of acute poverty, because in the world there are a lot of poverty. Even in our own state, I have seen people in starvation. I have seen malnutrition. I have seen 11th class, 11th, 12th student stunted, no growth, looking like a class 3 or 4 student. You go to the out of Chennai and go and see. I've seen. It's painful. Poverty. Problem is environment, climate crisis. We have problem of conflict, people fighting with each other. These problems, problem of poverty, problem of conflict, problem of environment crisis. Swami Vallalar's teaching is the answer. His way is the answer to all these problems. But then we need to articulate with a force, simply saying, Swami said so. Your voice will not be heard. We need committed people in the academia. We committed people in industries, committed people in all walks of life, committed to the teachings of Swami Vallalar, and take it forward. We need more and more studies. His teachings could be confined to a few volumes, but those volumes are seeds. After all, our Vedas are how many Vedas? But what has come out of it is countless. So Swami's teachings are like seeds. From that seeds, each seed is capable of producing huge, huge trees. It is for our job to take it forward, develop it, and then develop it in a manner that is contemporary. It should be understandable to the people of the age, our people of this age. They should be able to relate. And they should be able to relate the message with the problem that we are facing. If we do that, we will not have social discrimination. We will not have poverty. We will not have conflict with the nature. We will have all-round harmony. That will be the true tribute to Swami. And that must be the mission of our life. We are gathered here, but I would like each one of you, especially our young friends, to take the message and think in what all way we can take it forward. I am sure you will do it, because the fact that you are present on this occasion to listen about him, to talk about him, to share about him, It shows your commitment. Take it forward. I'm sure you will do it. I wish this today's seminar to be very, very productive, very, very fruitful, and it should show the path into the future. How do we move on hereafter? Because this is the first step. I would take it as a first step. Journey is long one, but every long journey begins with the first step. Let today's seminar be the first step. Thank you very much. Yeah.